all the way from London, England. Welcome to the Less Consulting Puff podcast, episode number 11. SAP solution expert and data alchemist Alisdair will give his unfettered view of SAP Sapphire 2025.
Dragon ERP help mid-tier leadership teams shape their SAP transformation journey. Request your copy of our SAP SaaS ERP Mid-Tier Customer Adoption Guide.
Okay, so I'm going to take you through my view of Sapphire 2025. Firstly, I really enjoyed it, but it was far less big bang, far more refine. So what I mean by refine, AI everywhere, but really from a product perspective, plenty of time for the customer to catch up now. And I think that's really clear. So the next point is more tech head than tech head. Yeah, so really noisy in terms of AI, but points of business differentiation were lost. And I think that's regrettable. It's all about the business. It's all about process. Next point. No clean core messaging. Really interesting. For years, we've heard about clean core as the only way forward. Died a death. Some additional data points as to why. 34,000 SAP customers are now using SAP AI. That's got to be a good few ECC customers in there. So, SAP customers are mature. They get the use of AI, and they know that they can leverage AI with their legacy SAP estate. SAP aren't silly. So I think we're going to see Joule rolled out to ECC customers either by SAP or by third parties. More about that in a minute. So what stood out? I think there are only a couple of game changers. I don't think that's a bad thing. Again, this is about catching up and refine. The standout for me was Walk Me on Joule. We knew it was coming. We'll take the year's experience to the next level. Absolute productivity win. Okay, love it. Joule's also going to be made available to third-party products. So again, end-to-end process, making it easier for users. Fantastic. And then finally, if we're talking about third-party products, we are really going to see Joule deployed onto the ECC architecture and probably the wider legacy SAP estate like BW, etc. That's got to be a win from SAP. I mean, they're driving revenue from AI, whichever way you look at it. So there's no downside to deploying AI onto ECC. Sooner or later, those ECC customers are going to give up and are going to move to S4 or what comes after S4. But all the time, SAP are making money out of it. There's no drama, no story. Let's move on. What I really liked, this is something we've been looking for some time, is it's all about AI. But what about manufacturing? What about the real world? More and more organizations are leveraging robotics. So it's really good to see the partnership with Nvidia and the utilization of Joule with Robotic Edge. That's really interesting. Back in the day, the old JLR Alumni, we had no end of problems in terms of SAP MES with the manufacturing layer. So this is going to be really interesting to see how SAP and robotics integration is really going to work. But I'm really pleased we're starting to get into it. The last bit of really good innovation I liked was Google Big Data Query coming into the data fabric architecture. Fantastic. Dragon runs Google anyway. We love it, but it's really good to see. Interesting, really quiet on the S4 front. S4, stable product, halfway through now. We're coming to the end of that real development period around S4 as a product. It's stable. What you see is what you're going to get now. And don't forget, we're moving into our cycle of 2-year releases rather than the 1-year release with drops in between. So, Business Data Cloud. Okay, a lot of fanfare about that last year. Not a lot this year other than what we expect to see, tailored AI agents. My view, as I'm constantly saying, is 18,000 BW customers. If you want to drive revenue out of BDC, you've got to think about how you drop AI agents straight onto BW. Yeah, so that's coming. We're starting to see that. Interesting to see that sustainability and spend control towers now embedded into BDC. Logical. Who cares? BTP, really stable PaaS product now. Don't forget it used to be SCP. It is what it is. Multi-headed Hydra. Really stable, relatively quiet. All I wanted to see from BTP was in terms of integration suite, really focus on the mid-tier. Wanted to see more adapters for the mid-tier. Mid-tier are totally cloud-centric. They love plug and play. You know, they're not going to adopt the SAP Business Suite. They've already got their own cloud-agnostic business suite of applications they love in the cloud. Just give them the APIs and let them plug and play. Didn't happen. Business Suite, not a lot going on. Some new line of business offerings. So they've repackaged Business Suite, made it logical. SAP have remembered it's all about the operating model. Fantastic. So line of business focus for Business Suite. Business transformation portfolio. So again, why are we rebranding all the time? I like the term tool chain. We understood what it meant. We understood what it was trying to do. We understood what was built into it. We've now got business transformation portfolio. You know, it's just confusing. Just say what it is. Tool chain works. It almost seemed operational. The only thing I liked was the Signavio value analytics and the value accelerator. You know, value. It's what it's about. Signavio, LeanIX needs to be offered for free. Offer it for free. It's a revenue generator. You don't need all your enterprise architects. You don't need all these pre-sales lizards. Just give the customer Signavio. Let them get on. Soon define their business case. And support. Really thought Thomas was going to get a grip of SAP support. RISE infrastructure as a service is not as good as it needs to be. Everybody knows that. Some of the bigger customers get great service. Some of the smaller customers don't. You know, SAP aren't a hyperscaler. Just fix it. The new support models which have come out, okay, so what? Doesn't get to SAP really being a top tier support provider, and really start talking about service design and off-the-shelf service designs, plug and play in that service space. A little bit more clarity. All in all, I'd give Sapphire an 8 out of 10. Really good stuff. As always, Christian Klein was absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to Madrid. Let's see what comes out. Other than that, thank you for listening. And there'll be another podcast up next week with Paul and myself and a special guest who's done some innovation and he's invented his own SAP AI products. Thank you.